and my guest today is
Shi Na.
Welcome, how are you?
Good, perfect. Hi, my name is Shi Na, so I said it in my original culture Chinese way. We put the family name in advance and followed by the given name.
Okay.
So yeah, it's Na, Shi in Western way.
Right.
Yeah, actually, so my hometown is Qingdao, so the famous beer town in China, yeah, by the sea. But I have been traveling a lot. I've been living, started and worked in France about 20 years ago. And then I went back to China. I've been living in different cities in Shanghai, particularly. Before I again left China to come to Luxembourg. So that was 9 years ago. Today I'm living in Luxembourg and I have Luxembourgish citizenship, nationality.
You have double?
No.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I think like most of Asian countries, China has no practice of double nationality,
okay.
so I have to give up. Yeah.
So what could you tell us about Chinese culture to people who know nothing about it?
This is a very large and a huge topic, but what I can say that China is one of the most ancient civilization. Therefore, there are a lot of things very rich in history, in culture, and big variety of people. We are very different from region to region.
Of course.
Yeah, it's a country with the biggest population in the world.
Oh, yes.
So as consequence, people are have this united culture to be same.
Okay.
Yeah, to be the same. It's funny because this is the title of your project. They have very strong family spirit, respect people, elder people, parents, and of course somehow we say Chinese people are hardworking people. That's quite true.
What brought on the motivation to come to Europe?
When I was a child, I was fascinated by French culture.
Okay.
Yeah, literature, art. Yeah, that attracted me. So since long. So and then later I had chance to learn French, to go to France to study.
I understand you kind of knew about the French culture in France a little bit before moving, but I can imagine that the transition from China to France, from China to Luxembourg, it must have been also quite enormous.
Yeah.
How was the transition and how were your first moments coming to Europe?
Yeah, what I call it culture shock. First of all, it's also to complete what I said about Chinese culture. Chinese people are very, in the society we live all together with family, friends. At work, there are teams. This kind of always collective and the same culture, and we have disciplines, etc. And when I arrived in France, French people are very individual.
Right.
This is their value, to be different
Exactly.
with others. Yeah, that was the first thing. Really. For me it's quite difficult.
Okay.
Because in China I had some reference. What should I do if I don't know what to do? I look at others. I refer to what the others have done.
Right.
In France, you cannot do this because everybody is different.
Yeah.
You have choice. You have choice. You have total freedom to do whatever you want to do. In fact, to move to France for me, there are two things. With the distance, I started to know my culture, my own culture.
Okay.
China.
Yeah.
If I were in China, I couldn't see many different things.
True. That's a good point.
Yeah, and the second point is I started to know myself, to discover who I am.
Yeah, by being taken away from your comfort zone.
Yeah, from my roots.
Yeah,
yes.
That must have been hard for sure, because also you were doing this alone, but it must have been such a rich experience, because you learned so much and you got to see things that you might not have ever realized or seen had you stayed in China.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the fortune for me. Yeah, right. I think for everybody. For me, it's absolutely the experience and the way to follow.
I suppose in China, like it's a very lively place. I imagine, because I think of Egypt, where kind of Egypt never sleeps. If you think of Cairo, it never sleeps.
Yes. 7 days, 24 hours.
Yeah. So, and then come to Europe, where I mean, sometimes it still shocks me that like some shops close at 6 p.m.
Yeah.
And you kind of go to the city center and not a lot is happening. So this is just an example, but how did you start to adapt and integrate into such a different culture?
Make friends.
Okay.
Yeah, make friends. I'm very easygoing person, very sociable, so it's not a big deal for me to make new friends with local people and also people from different countries.
Well, I think people don't understand how big China is. I don't think we can really kind of...
It's bigger than the whole Europe.
That, I think, puts it into perspective a little bit.
18 times so France.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is one thing that people should, myself included, should see, that we can't really talk about Chinese culture as one thing. So yeah, let's talk about your region. What elements make the culture for you?
Family. Yeah. Family, friends, again, people. I think most of Chinese people, one of the important elements, if they can put maybe to number one, is either family or work.
Okay.
Yeah, work, job is something very takes a huge place in Chinese people's life.
How do you feel when people kind of put all Asian countries into one bundle and just say, you Asians? How does that make you feel?
Yeah, that's unfair.
That is unfair.
Yeah, that's unfair. But I think but that's the common phenomenon for people who don't make effort to understand the others, or who don't travel, who don't pay attention, more to discover something. China is huge. Yeah. We have people from east of China. They might have a similar culture with Vietnam people, or with Vietnamese or Thailand people, rather than for me, I'm close to South Korea.
Yeah, so they would actually be more similar to another country than... Yeah, I think that shows how enormous the country is as well. What would you make as a conclusion as to why, because you said people who don't travel maybe don't know, what is the solution then? How can people become more educated and know more about the cultures of Asia?
Well, this is not a political campaign. If I were minister, I were the minister, the prime minister. No, I think that must come from themselves. They need to have this volunteer and motivation to get to know the others. Among all these elements, stuff, I think language is also a factor to mention.
Okay, in what way?
For me, I don't speak many languages, but one new language you learn is like open a window, a door.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Not only for the culture, but for more the bigger world, the larger vision of the world, the society.
Could you imagine living in France without speaking French?
No.
Yeah, that's true what you say, that it does open a whole new world and kind of really lets you in and dig deep into the culture.
That's also one thing I didn't mention, that when I'm still today living with non-Chinese Western people or non-Asian people, that's a big difference. Yeah, we talk the same thing, but now different thing is we try to think at the place of the others.
Okay.
Yeah. If I were him, I would say what would I do at his place, and not first I want to be like this, I don't care about the others.
That reflects the collective culture.
Yeah.
So I would like to know what were some of the more hurtful comments you might have gotten, or just kind of prejudices or stereotypes that people have of your culture?
The typical one is all Chinese people here in Europe are cooks.
Yeah. Okay.
Or owner of restaurants.
Yeah.
Could be a compliment because I don't cook well.
See, you find the positive in that
always,
as well.
always see the bright side.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, that's one thing. All Chinese people, they are all communists. and yeah, of course, all Chinese restaurants, if there are nobody or the restaurant is quite often empty because they are just mafia. They are here to, for money laundering. This is and when the Chinese die, they don't declare, then the others can use their passport. This is the thing we heard.
Really?
Yes,
Well, I've never heard that one.
Yeah, because
wow. Wow.
Now you know.
Yeah. But look, you're laughing at it now. Has it ever hurt you? Does it still hurt you, or do you really just kind of laugh off these comments?
I think it's also this kind of comments in ignorance fading out. I think people get smarter. Oh, of course, sometimes in the very beginning it hurts. It hurts.
Yeah. But what is your take then? How do you react to it? Do you try to explain to the people that they are not correct?
Yeah, if I can. Yeah, I always try. I always try because I'm an educator. Yeah, this is also my mission, my task, and I feel that I should explain to people to help them to understand. I remember also in the very beginning when I arrived in France, I also met people who could not accept that most of Chinese people have no religion. We don't really believe in just one God, or we have these legends. There are many gods.
Okay.
Yes, but most of Chinese from our very Chinese and original thoughts, I call them thoughts, or it's more philosophy rather than religions.
Okay.
Like the Taoism, Confucianism, these are very Chinese things. They are only Chinese from China.
And why do you think it is that then people so often just can't accept different concepts that they don't believe in themselves? Why can't we just let people believe in whatever they want to believe in?
This is a good question. I have no answer. I remember the person who asked me. It's a person, an old gentleman in France when I was in La Rochelle in France. He asked me. He was curious. He was interested because maybe I was one of the first Chinese he met. He asked many questions. I explained to him, and then he said, "What is your religion?" I said, "I'm atheist, and most of Chinese have no religion. But when they could be very pragmatic. They go to a temple and to pray.
Okay.
for whoever can help to solve
anybody.
To solve the problem.
Okay.
He got so angry. He said, "Oh, so stupid! How stupid you are without religion." I was surprised. I was so shocked.
That's
still maybe today I have no answer for this.
But that's the whole idea, that people are different. You come from a different culture. Your culture is very different from mine. But somehow we're able to communicate and we're able to get along with no problem at all. So it shouldn't be that difficult.
Talking about the current circumstance of the COVID, also many people blame China.
And how does that make you feel?
It was hard. It was hard in the beginning because in some places, also in France, in Paris, I heard of quite tough situation. Asian lady, not even sure she was Chinese, was pushed away from outside of the subway in Paris. Because she is Asian and because she wears mask. This mask thing is also very cultural. Because in Asia, we used to wear masks even though we were not sick and when there was no COVID before.
Yeah, but could you tell us a little bit about that? Because I have also heard so many comments about that, like way before COVID, saying, oh, the Asian tourists who come to Europe and act like Europe is dirty, or we have something for them to contaminate, and they have. But what is?
They do the same at home.
Yeah. So what is the deal with the mask then?
The deal is, indeed, there are more pollution in Asia, in big cities, so we get used to wear masks.
Okay.
And also in winter, that's for also for respect of the others. We wear masks if we got maybe small cough.
Okay.
Yeah. That's totally polite and you know.
There you go. Nothing
acceptable.
Awful, nothing scary.
Yes.
Just respect.
Yes. I also learned from it.
Okay.
On the other side, when one day I read something and I suddenly realized why here in Western society people are so against the masks, because for them it's kind of to hide, to not to recognize identify
your identity.
People. Yes.
But I find it really nice that you kind of look at it now from both points of view, and you kind of even learn something from both points of view.
When that's the advantage when you multicultural and you know both or more different cultures. For example, something the tradition I respect a lot, but most of Asian, when we enter into a home, we take off shoes.
Like in Finland.
Yeah, you see. I got some discussion, some fight with friends who insist to wear their shoes
indoors.
Yes.
But see, that's funny because that's something that China shares with countries in the north, like Finland, where nobody would normally imagine like there would be any similarities. But that's I can see why it bothers you.
Another thing, most of Asians have experienced is about this Go Dutch thing.
Okay.
It's always the question who is going to pay.
And what is the rule or the unspoken rule in China?
In China, just one person.
Okay.
And people will fight to pay the bill.
See, like in Egypt.
Yeah.
Wow.
Of course, because I remember before when you offer some gifts, you leave the price on it.
Seriously?
Yeah, to show that the value of the gift.
Oh, wow.
And of course, people always try to offer expensive gifts. I also forgot this because money is a big topic, and we are so used to offer, like to pay the bill. Each time I go to pay visit to my Chinese friends, they always let me. Of course, I never come with empty hand. I never leave with empty hands. The exchange very warm.
Yeah. But I find it really inspiring that you have kind of picked and chosen, and you see that different cultures exist, and you kind of learn from it, and you kind of adapt in a way where you don't give up your traditions, but you also kind of add on. It's an add-on. I think that's important.
Yeah.
Because nobody should have to kind of give up everything they believe in or everything that they're used to. But it's always nice to not be completely against anything new.
Yeah, that is the basic. I think if you have totally forget or cut off your own culture, your roots, you will be lost. To understand who I am today, you must understand who I was before.
Absolutely, that's true.
Yeah,
for sure. That's really very well said. Sure.
Yeah.
So now, what makes you happy?
Could be anything, many, even tiny things, small things. Read a joke. Spend time with friends. Maybe the thing could make you happiest. Could be you feel useful. You help others.
To help others. Yeah. What motto do you live by?
The perfect traveler is those who don't know where to go.
Ooh. Okay, kind of like the mystery.
Yeah.
What advice would you now give to your past self?
I'm not a person who used to look past.
But there's your motto right there. No regrets.
That's also, yeah.
Every step you take, every move. This is sounding too like a song. It's true that everything
now
you
music.
do, yeah, exactly, dramatic music. Everything you do in life, all the things that you've chosen, all the steps that you've taken have led you to where you are today. So it's true, I do understand and respect those people who say, oh, I don't have any regrets and I would do everything the same. And finally, what are you proudest of in your life?
Always to be myself and to pursue the dreams.
Correct. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, I don't know what else to say other than, look, Na is Chinese, I'm Finnish Egyptian, and
Chinese Luxembourg.
Sorry, Chinese Luxembourg.
Chinese burger.
Yeah, Chinese burger. And we would never think that there are similarities between our cultures because they are so different. They are different, yet the same. Right?
Same,
but different. Yeah, exactly. We see similarities. And that's, again, what is it's so easy. Just instead of look towards what is different and then judge it, see that there is still so much in common and that we can come from other sides of the world, different sides of the world, and look, it's still the same. Na, I cannot thank you enough. Thank you so much for being here and for sharing this moment with us. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for your initiative. Great idea and concept. I hope you have many same but different interviews.
Thank you so much, Na. Thank you everybody, and see you next time. Have a great evening, morning or afternoon, wherever you are. Thanks for watching and see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.